Good morning. There's a better way to ask people for jobs on the internet. Let me explain. There are no cats in the house yet. My wife bought that for the feral cats. Last year they used it. I don't think anybody slept in it last night. Good morning, 4:32. 30 minutes since the alarm went off. Clothes, drink, wife's coffee out, checked on the feral cats, starting to do a little bit of work. My name is Tim. You are in Brooklyn, New York right now. It's the best way to describe me if you've never met me before. I'm a 46-year-old dad, husband, and corporate guy. I've been making TikToks primarily for, it's been 3-ish years that I could have never fathomed as a result. Anyway, the most helpful things that I bring to the table are really just my perspective and how helpful I can be as a boss. I'm a good boss. I'm a really good boss. I should be okay saying that out loud. So come along for today. Let's see what we got. We'll talk about the details later. Let's have as much fun as we can today. It is 6:44. Walked in the door 14 minutes ago. Kelly went to work. Evelyn's got a project today. I'm gonna be fumbling around with this. Like, I don't even know whether to shoot in cinematic or, like, I don't know if this looks weird. I feel like I watch this in other people's videos and it never looks weird, but then for some reason I'm like, there's absolutely no way I would ever shoot a 0.5. But I know people do that, obviously. I got terrible cotton mouth. I gotta start moving. Evelyn breakfast, Evelyn up, dressed, comfortable with her project, tub, shower, suit. Morning. Did you sleep, kiddo? Still sleepy a little bit? Yeah. I forgot mittens. That's not that bad. Have you ever seen that guy that I think is in Winnipeg? He's been doing an ice bath for well over a year now. And he's way better at it than I am for a multitude of reasons. One is the temperatures that he deals with. Number two is the ability to talk to the camera while doing it, which is not fun. I would rather breathe through this. But not only does he talk to the camera, he makes a very eloquent point almost every morning. Something that he said recently that I really liked but I slightly disagree with was about discipline. It is basically that you're making for a better tomorrow by putting off what you actually want today, or something along those lines. I hope I got that somewhat close to being right. Do you care what I would present?
No.
Any topic?
Doesn't your boss choose your topic?
It's funny, when you get into the workforce, sometimes you choose the topic for your boss. Your rubric?
That's what we're graded on.
On your posture? Wow. Seriously? That's smart. I use my hands a lot when I present. I try to keep it light and funny and make sure that I control my voice as much as possible so that when I think something's funny, people can kind of hear it a little bit, and I know to use inflection and that kind of stuff. It's fun. Once you get better at it, it's really fun, actually. I was just about to say, I don't know if I'm going to be terrible at YouTube or any good. It's fun to try and experiment, and I feel bad. So you know I'm not editing the YouTubes. I have somebody editing them for me.
Oh no.
Well, I feel bad because I'm not shooting stuff very well, but I zoomed in to get a shot behind the sushi bar, and then I forgot to zoom out, and I put it back on Mom and I, so all you have is our mouths like super close for like 5 minutes.
How's she gonna fix that?
She can't. I don't know if it's gonna be usable. It's kind of funny that I've made so many TikToks and yet I feel like I've barely introduced myself or how dope my neighborhood is. Like, people love New York City content for a bazillion amazing reasons, and I am one of those people. But this is like... There really is something so dope about living right next to the Culver Viaduct, which is what this thing is. It's where the F and the G train go over. Good morning for like the third time now. It is 8:20. Running around the house like an idiot like I always do, and I'm carrying the following things. Supreme chapstick. I used to do like a bunch of Supreme type of content. I think it's one of the most interesting brand case studies in the history of consumerism. And yes, I bought way too much shit from there, but it's a dope brand and I like buying stuff. Anyway, the reason why I'm holding this is because we've been doing this thing called a marketing alignment call since 2020. I always host them. I usually come up with the agenda and I would do a quiz, like a live interactive quiz at the end of the meeting, and I would give away stuff like Supreme chapstick. So anyway, somebody won a while ago and they never got their Supreme chapstick. That's how you stop corporate America from being just lame, is you do stupid shit like this. Oh, and the Miller stuff. I'm really not probably gonna wear this, so this is getting donated immediately. These are pins from the brand Minted. If you know me, you might know Marcus and Sean Milione, the brothers behind the Minted brand. Amazing brand. So I'm giving away the Miller High Life stuff because it is amazing to support your friend's work. But I'm trying to do a better job if like people just send me stuff, which is happening more and more these days. It's cool, but I got plenty of stuff, so give away as soon as it comes in the door. I think this is supposed to be the formal part of the video. Today's video is called A Better Way to Ask, Can I Have a Job via Social Media. A lot of y'all are showing up in people's DMs saying, can I have a job? Or you're asking it in slightly different ways without saying anything or requesting anything specific. And there's a better way to do it. My name is Tim. I've been in the corporate space for 20 years. I've been in the creator space for the past 3 years. Haphazardly fell into this, and based off of somebody that runs a large department and a lot of people see at face value as having a cool job, I get a lot of can I have a job DMs and requests. I'm also a super corporate nerd and I know how the system works inside and effing out. Therefore, I can teach y'all a better way to request a job so that you end up in front of the right people quicker so you actually have the best chance of getting a job versus a DM that just fades into the abyss of DMs. Come along. For as many people that might know you or recognize you, nobody knows you and nobody recognizes you. And yet at the same time too, I get so self-conscious about walking around holding this thing and talking to it. And yet I know that it's so much better if I just don't give a fuck. Anyway, 1, 2 spindrifts, 1 phone, 2 phones, tripod, water bottle. Why am I telling all this? Because one day I'm not gonna be in this motherfucking office and I just wanna document this is how I rolled up today. In other words, I shouldn't stay here forever because I can, or because I could. It's all good stuff. It's just a lot across the board.
How you keep up at this point, to be honest with you, and yeah, if it's gonna get busier, it's like crazy.
I have to get out of the mode of like, oh, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Let me just do some sort of whimsical off the top of my head, like blah, blah, blah. Like I gotta be like Tuesday morning, 5:15, intro to YouTube. It's gonna take 10 minutes. You need to do 3 takes of blank. I need to schedule my weeks out like that now, or it's gonna eat me alive. I don't know why I clapped. Since I started making TikTok, Reels, content, whatever, It's been amazing because there's been so many people that are like, yo, it'd be dope to work for you. I might see the comment, I might appreciate the comment, I might like the comment, I might reply to the comment, but it's going to be super hard for you to land a job just like that, but I can teach you a better way to do it. So let's go. The first thing is you should know what that person is actually responsible for and how that team is constructed, because then you can actually find a popcorn trails that would be like, here are jobs that actually work for that person, for that company, that whatever. Do the homework first and foremost to know what the person actually does, what their title is, how it ties back to the company if they work for a company. And even if they don't work for a company, say it's someone like Drake, look up October's Very Own or look up Drake and be like, what other business entities does he have? And there might even already be job listings out there. So do your homework first and foremost. Cool, you did your homework. Now what do? Start applying. It's about your narrative. Do additional research in regards to who is the hiring manager. LinkedIn is going to have something that helps you put those pieces together. That can be done one of two ways. Number one is looking up that title in LinkedIn to see who else might have that title already at the company. Because if you can find somebody else with a similar title, you can find that person and be like, yo, can I steal 15 minutes of your time to pick your brain to find out what it's like to work there? All of a sudden, you're starting to cut much closer to the chase. The second way would be to figure out who is the HR team at that company. So now you've identified the company, what the person does, what jobs might be out there and available already, and then who either might be a hiring manager, somebody in HR, or a counterpart that makes you now narrow the focus. Once you have done those things, then you can reach back out to the person that originally inspired this. You can probably figure out what their email address is. Don't tell anybody I told you that. And send them a note to say, yo, I applied for this. You give me 30 seconds and I will tell you exactly why I'm best for it. Or you can go ahead and make a video or make a post. You have to be cool with the fact that that might go nowhere, but these are the steps that you need to take to actually get that much closer. There's one sheet. We'll figure out a way to put a link to it in the box below this. I'm still new to YouTube, so I don't even know what the hell we call that box. We'll put a link to it. It's got all of these instructions step by step. I have had people successfully do this with me. By the time they came back to me, they're like, I applied, here's my resume, here's who I talked to, this is why I think I'm a fantastic fit. This gives you a much better shot than just saying day 87 of me asking for a job. And there's some extra credit too, but let's talk about that at home. It's 6 and I'm gonna go eat sushi. You're coming with me. The best part of this video is that y'all made it basically, because of all the questions and the comments that I got along those lines, pushed me to figure out what is a better way to try to explain this. 7th and 50th, I can't tell you how many times I've crossed this street. I must look like a wet effing rat. So let me tell you a story about when I did something similar in regards to like stalking somebody in the comments, so to speak. Somebody that I already had an introduction to. This person at the time was the head of one of the biggest creative agencies on the planet. And I tried way too hard in all the wrong ways. I revised my resume after I already showed it to him and tried to make it look way too fancy. I sent like a big gift bag of shit over to his office to say thank you for the time and thought that it was like so well thought out. And apparently he never even got it, or he did and he just didn't want to say that he got it because it was too cringy and awkward. But then I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't even applied for anything. With that in mind too, I'm like, I gotta help cut to the chase if I actually want to do something here. So I started to actually apply for jobs. That was a huge eye-opener for me because I realized with all the legwork that I'd done, and even being that close to the person that felt like I would do anything to work for in a company that I was drooling over, it was on me to actually take that step. All ended up pretty well anyway, but that's my story of what it was like to be like, hey, day 87, slightly different set of circumstances, but same general premise.